8:21 in St. Louis. 12 degrees currently, heading to a high of 35. I'm Mike Kelly filling in for McGraw. Well, as you know by now, Michael Sam announced on ESPN, simultaneously released by the New York Times, that he is an openly gay, now former student athlete, hoping to be drafted by the NFL coming up in the April draft. Now the challenges begin. What will he face in the locker room for whatever team he is drafted by, if indeed he is drafted? What will he face? Well, to get an idea of a guy who spent a lot of time in an NFL locker room, it's always great to hear from one of the classiest people in sports, my friend Trent Green, the former star at Vianney, who once scored, 44 points in a game?
Something like that, yes. It was 40. So
how are you, my man?
Good to talk to you, Mike. Definitely.
Well, it's great to hear from you. All right, so obviously, in my mind, the challenge begins now for Michael Sam, because you've got the combine coming up. He's going to face obviously a lot of scrutiny there. The process of whether he can play in the league continues and will continue. But if he's drafted and if he ends up in a locker room, what are some of the challenges that he'll face there?
Well, first off, I think that he did the right thing by making the announcement now. Going through the entire process, especially since, he notified his team, prior to the start of last season. You don't want to go through the entire process and have speculation out there and like you're hiding something from the team. That's the thing when you're going through that draft process, or for that matter, even a free agency process. If you're a current player, you don't want there to be questions or doubts out there, or any kind of lingering things that teams have to worry about, that you're not being upfront with them. And that could be, whether you're talking about your sexuality or legal matters or financial matters or whatever it may be. They want you to be upfront. They want to know what they hate surprises. Coaches hate surprises. Mike, you've been around it long enough to know, coaches and personnel guys don't like surprises.
Right.
So it just, because then they can prepare, they feel like they can get prepared for it. So I thought he did a good job of, making the statement when he did, and now he can go through the entire combine and everything's out there, so I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the league. I think he is going to face some challenges. There are going to be, I know everyone from an organizational standpoint around the league, they're all going to say the right things and do the right things, but the other thing is going to be, being in the actual locker room and it looks like the University of Missouri and his teammates at Missouri handled it very well, but those are guys that knew him for several years. You're going into an environment where you've got guys ranging in age from, 20, 21-year-old all the way up to 40-year-old guys, and you have people with different backgrounds and, different upbringings and different religious beliefs and those things. So he's gonna face some of those hurdles just because it's a whole new group of players that don't know his background.
Trent, as you look at, I guess in the NFL, everyone's and I hate to say it like this, but their circus radar is up a little bit based on what happened with Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin in Miami. They try to avoid as many distractions as possible. Do you think
right.
that hurts Michael Sam at all in the process?
Well, I think there's going to be some organizations that definitely feel that way. I think an example on another degree would be Tim Tebow.
Right.
I mean, obviously, Tebow had an incredible college career, accomplished a lot of great things in college, went to the NFL, and even though statistically is not very good from a, when you look at the upper echelon or even starting quarterbacks in the National Football League, the fact is that he was able to lead Denver to multiple comebacks in the fourth quarter. He got them to win a playoff game, and yet he can't even get a tryout. And I think a lot of the teams don't want that because of the quote-unquote circus that he brings because of all the added extra attention. So Michael Sam's going to have to deal with the same thing. There's going to be certain teams and certain organizations that don't want to have to deal with that, that just, listen, we don't want the distraction. And then there's going to be other teams that are like, you know what, we just want the best football players available, and they're willing to deal with whoever. Whatever baggage a player is bringing or whatever background a player is bringing, and those organizations tend to focus on that the player more than anything else.
Visiting with St. Louis native, former NFL quarterback Trent Green with us here this morning on KTRS 826. I'm Mike Kelly filling in for McGraw. One final thought from you regarding this topic. As you know, the locker room in the NFL is a much different dynamic than a player will face at the collegiate level. For any rookie coming in to a camp for the first time, what are some of the challenges that they face from veterans?
Well, I can just voice some of the experiences that I went through. You're going to have different players handle things differently. Obviously, the one that's made a lot of national attention, and you just mentioned it, is the Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin in Miami. I was never around something to the degree that was going on. You always had a certain level of hazing, or you'd give a young guy a hard time. I remember, as a rookie player, even though I was a late round draft pick, there were certain guys on the defensive side of the ball that gave me a hard time. Hey, you know what? No rookies in the shower at this time. Hey, no rookies in the weight room at this time. Hey, all the rookies in the training room, get out of here. Hey, rookies, you got to go get us breakfast. That kind of stuff. Nothing that was too over the top, like some of the reports you're hearing out of Miami with Martin and Incognito. But I just think there's going to be some of that. But now all of a sudden, there's going to be the added sensitivity of obviously Michael, admitting openly that he's a gay player, and that you're going to have some players that just there's going to have to be some sort of sensitivity training or certain ways that teams handle that, and I think the organization that drafts him, and I do think he'll get drafted because he's an incredible player, incredible athlete, and everything, all the reports and everything I've seen, and Mike, you were around him all those years, covering the Tigers. So, you know what kind of person he is. And I think that teammates will obviously, react well to him when, because bottom line is how do you perform on the field and how do you play? And I think that'll carry him through a lot of the small stuff that'll go on.
Hey, Trent, thanks so much for your time this morning. Hi to Julie and the kids, and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. I appreciate it. Have a good show. Take care.
Take care. Trent Green with us here this morning on the Big 550 KTRS. Coming up, we've got traffic for you, also weather.